Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to my live today. I'm Sandra, and I'm the owner of Event Trail Travel. I'm a travel consultant who specializes in planning destination weddings in the Caribbean and Mexico, mostly focusing on all inclusive resorts. So, if you're looking to have a destination wedding, Mexico, DR, Jamaica, St. Lucia, I am your girl. That's what I specialize in doing. But today, I think I was going to focus on destination wedding budget. Last week, I talked about how to start planning for your destination wedding. So today, the topic is you've agreed that as a couple you want to do a destination wedding. How much is it going to cost you to have a destination wedding, and how do you stay on budget? Because that's the biggest question I get asked is how much does a destination wedding cost? But sometimes that budget can go crazy and get out of hand. I know that happened to me when I had my destination wedding 7 years ago. I had a certain number in my head, and at the end, that numbered just about double. And it was not shocking because the good thing I was paying for my wedding as I went along. So I didn't have a bill at the end. It was more that when I add everything up, it was way more than I anticipated. So hopefully this live can help you stay on budget and kind of figure out what are the important things that you need to have in your destination wedding budget. So the first thing is what's in that budget. So if you plan a destination wedding, there's three main component of your budget that I'm going to talk briefly about, but the one that I'm going to focus on is actually your destination wedding. So the first thing is travel. And if you're having a destination wedding, most likely you're traveling to a foreign country. So for that travel budget, it's going to be your accommodation, your flight, and your transfer. So within that budget, you want, for me to understand what that budget is, you have to figure out how much it's going to cost you to stay at whatever resort you select, how many days you're going to stay, because that's going to impact your budget, and the flight. How much does it cost to fly to that destination? So you can get an estimate by putting in that the date that you're thinking of doing your wedding to see what it costs. If you have the resort in mind, you can know what it costs to stay at the resort 5 nights, 6 nights, 7 nights, because most couples who are getting married are staying at the resort over 7 days. They're doing their wedding and a honeymoon in one. So definitely you need to understand how much that's going to cost you, because that is part of your budget, and you can budget for that separately, but it's a number that you can easily calculate or estimate to a certain point what that's going to cost you. The next part of your budget is your attire. It's going to be your wedding attire as well as your vacation attire, because it's not just the wedding, it's everything else that goes into packing and what you need to bring for the wedding, bathing suit, clothes to wear out, gift bags, if you plan on bringing gift bags to give to your guests. So definitely these are things that are controllable, meaning that you can decide how much you want to spend on your wedding attire, but you might find that dress that instead of $500 is $1,500. So that can easily blow your budget, but you should come up with how much do you want to spend on your wedding attire to get to your wedding. And wedding attire includes so many different things: your shoes, are you going to change dress, your headwear, all these accessories that you need. So definitely, try to come up with some sort of budget as where do you feel comfortable spending on your wedding attire for the wedding. A lot of people are doing beach wedding and they're very casual. So you don't need a suit. You need like a shirt, a linen shirt and a pants. But for a woman, they want to either walk in their wedding gown or they want something a little bit, lighter but fancy. So definitely something to think about when you're planning or, figuring out your budget. How much do you feel comfortable, or how much do you want to budget for your wedding attire, and, all the things you need to bring with you to have your wedding. So that's a second part of your budget. The biggest part, and most people are always, this is a part that they're more worried about, is the wedding at the resort. That would include the wedding package, if there's one, the extras, the activities, the events. And, these could all be very expensive, or it could be not expensive, depending on the type of wedding that you're looking for. A lot of couple, they look at this picture, I'm like, that's what they're looking to have. But if you want to have a wedding like this, what does it cost for you to have that altar, for the draping, for the flowers, for the chair covers. There is so many different components of this simple ceremony. You need to figure out how much is that if that's what your vision is for your wedding, how much will it cost you to achieve that? This particular setup is at a Dreams in Mexico, and this is a platform that's over the pool. So you got that over the water effect. This platform setup is around $2,000. So depending on what your wedding budget is, just to have the platform over the water is around $2,000 or more. And then if you want to have this flower arch, that's additional money you have to spend. And the chairs that I'm looking at are not the free chairs that normally come with they're more upgraded chairs. So to have this look, you really have to figure out how much is this look just going to cost you for the ceremony. And if that is what's important to you, the ceremony or the experience, or it doesn't matter, you just want to get married. So definitely these are like things you really need to think about. This is a garden setup, nice colors. They have a arch there and then different seating. So depending on the look you want for your wedding, you really need to figure out what that look is and how much it's going to cost you to achieve it, so you can have a realistic budget, because these things that I'm showing you are not included in the wedding package. And these are what I'm calling the extras. This round arch behind this couple, the flowers on the chair, those are never included in most of the wedding package I've seen. So if this is a look you're looking for, you need to figure out how much it's going to cost you to achieve that look, because that's going to be part of your budget. This is one of my favorite locations. This is the over the water chapel at Sandals Resort. They have over the water chapels in St. Lucia, and they have 3 available in Jamaica. So if you're looking to get married on the water, this is a perfect location. It fits probably up to 35 people comfortable. But you look at the chairs. The chairs have chair covers. They have flowers. There is flower at the altar. Those are not included. You're just going to get the chairs only. So if you're looking to get this look, you really have to figure out how much it costs to have the chair decor. Is it $10 per chair plus the flowers on the back, another $15? So when you add it up, how much is it going to cost you to have this look? And also for you to have this over the water chapel, it's additional cost. It's around $750 to get married at Sandals over the water chapel. So that is definitely going to add to your budget. So definitely something to think about, depending on where you want to get married, how much that additional cost is to get married in that particular location. These are reception setup. All those lightings are not included. You see the picture, you think it's included, it's not. So you definitely have to pay extra to get the lighting that you want. The pink light going up the tree, that's called an uplight. Those are not included in any wedding package. These are gold chairs. Most time the standard chairs are white. So you upgrade to gold, it's going to cost you additional money. There is no centerpieces on most of the wedding packages that I look at. So definitely if you're trying to achieve a certain look, it's going to cost you a little bit more. These chairs don't look like the normal chairs, and the trees are covered in lights. So if you have hanging lights too, those are not included. So depending on that look you want, you really need to figure that out, because that's where most of your budget's going to go. This is what I would say is a basic setup for a free wedding at Sandals Resort. They come with white tablecloth, white linen. You get all the utensils you need to get married, and it comes with white chairs. I think this one actually comes with a lantern also. So this is a basic setup. There would be no additional charge except the setup fee at Sandals to get this look. So, if you're looking for basic, you can do basic and still have a beautiful wedding. It all depends on how much you want to spend. Here are cakes that's offered, different type of cakes that's offered at Sandals. So, these come with additional cost depending on how many tiers you want, the design you want. So definitely everything you're thinking of for your wedding can cost a little bit more, but it's up to you if this is really what you need to have at your wedding. This is a DJ if you want a reception. And I would always suggest having some kind of live entertainment or a DJ to entertain your guests for 3 hours. So definitely, these are going to cost extra. DJs does not come with any wedding package, and they could start as much as $750 for 3 hours. So it all depends on what resort and where you are. Most of them are around that. Some of them are, I've seen them over $1,000, like $500 an hour. So certain things you might not think would cost so much cost a lot. So definitely you have to be realistic. This is a steel pan, so some couple like to have live entertainment at the cocktail hour. So depending on how many people are in the steel pan, it could start from 300 to as much as $1,000. So that would be additional cost if you want to have something like that at your cocktail or at your reception. Mariachi band. A lot of people get married in Mexico. Would like to have like live music, live mariachi band at the cocktail hour. That could be around $500 depending on the resort. So just thinking of things that you want to do to enhance your experience, but understanding what that costs, because not knowing what it costs will derail your budget. So definitely, something to think about when you're planning your wedding. So for me, I would say the next thing is looking at the wedding packages, because wedding packages are not all created equal. Each resort have different wedding packages, and trying to understand what's included and what's not included is definitely something you really need to think about. So I'm going to go over 3 wedding packages. I'm just going to cover basic stuff just to give you an idea of what's included. So I'm going to pick Sandals Resort for the first one. And Sandals offers free wedding. What does a free wedding mean? If you book a room and you book your wedding date and you make the down payment for your wedding, you can have a free wedding, and they allow you to have as many guests as you want, meaning as many guests that are staying on resort you can have for your wedding. So there's no limit. You're not paying for each additional guest. And a free wedding includes your ceremony, cocktail, and your reception. And these are all private, meaning that you're going to be able to pick your location where you want to have these events. And it's going to be private, meaning it's not going to be in a restaurant. So the good thing about that is that you're not paying extra or anything. It's just going to be basic setup. So you might just have to pay the setup fee to have that, but you're not paying for addition, not paying for food or drinks, because that's actually included in their free plan. So really, if you can afford to have a wedding at Sandals, you could have a wedding there that includes everything you need for a wedding. The thing that's going to cost you now, it's the extras, as I talk about. So if you want to get married in an over-the-water chapel, it will cost you $750 more. If you want to go to use their over-the-water gazebo, it's $450. If you want to get married at one of their Catholic chapel, if you're Catholic and you want a Catholic wedding, there is one in Montego Bay, and the additional cost for that is $200. They have a Sky Terrace. If you want to do your reception on the Sky Terrace, it's an additional cost for $750. They have a ceremony, Kiss Me at Twilight. So there's only one twilight every day. So if you want to book that specific time frame, it's additional $600. So just letting you know that although you have the free wedding, there's extras that you'll have to pay if you want to add these things to your wedding. So having the basic wedding means that your makeup, your hairstylist, video or photography. If you have an outside vendor, that's definitely something you always think about. If you're bringing a photographer with you from home, check with the resort, because most of them charge you $1,000 for outside vendors, meaning, unless you're part of your wedding party, sometimes they will allow the person to take pictures if they're staying on property. But if they're not staying on property, that's $1,000. And a lot of resorts are charging you that if you're bringing your own, if you're bringing a hair and makeup person and they're in your room, they're not going to charge you for that. But if you're bringing like a videography, a photographer, they will charge you for that. That's something definitely you should confirm with the resort before you book anything, to know if you're bringing someone that you want, what it would cost. Wedding day pass, something to think about. If you're having a wedding and you're at a certain resort and there's guests that's not staying on property, there's an additional fee that the guests have to pay to attend your wedding. And for Sandals, the wedding day pass is $145 for adults. And if you're staying at a beaches resort, it's $70. So that's definitely something to think about. If you're having these weddings and you're doing it on the beach, most likely you're probably going to need a dance floor. And a dance floor is not free, number one. And it all depends on the size. If you want it lighted, it comes at an additional charge. And some dance floor, like a 12 by 12, I was looking at Sandals, it's like $900. So it goes from $900 to like $1,500, depending on the type of dance floor you want. Cake comes at additional charge. Decor, uplights, if you want draping, if you want to be under a tent, if you want flowers, if you want to put up arches. These are things that can derail your budget if you don't plan ahead for it, if you don't know what it costs. If these are things that you're saying that these are must-haves, things that you want for your wedding. So for me, in order to make sure you stay on budget, is really look at what you're looking for your, what is your vision for the wedding, what is your must-have, and what things you don't really need. And for me, if I was planning my wedding, I would spend a lot more money on the ceremony because I really want that to look pretty, and that's where most of my pictures are. And then for the reception, I wouldn't even care too much about the decor as much, but making sure I have some kind of lighting and good entertainment and good food for my guests. So those things are important to me. So just figuring out what's important to you and what's not will definitely keep you on budget and not having you overspend because you're going to want everything. I'm going to go over another wedding. Well, I'm going to go over two wedding package. This one is from Royalton Resort. So if you're thinking of doing a wedding at Royalton Resort, what do their wedding package start at and what can I expect from that? So for their refined wedding package, which is the most popular one, it covers 30 guests. And for 2022 is $4,000. On here it says for 2023, the price is $4,200 for 30 people. So what does that cover? You get a wedding planner, the resort, wedding planner, on-site coordinator. You get you're gonna get getting ready refreshments in your room on the day of your wedding. You're gonna have a ceremony location, symbolic ceremony. Cheers are included, a sound system included, which is good. So if you're playing the music that you're gonna walk down when you get married, that's included. A ceremony table with linen and tropical centerpiece. You get a bridal bouquet and a boutonniere, and that's what is included for the ceremony. So you can definitely have a ceremony with what's included here. You get a cocktail hour, so you get 3 tables, 3 appetizers, 1 hour of standard open bar service, and 1 hour of sound system, which is good. So if you want to hook up your iPad and play some music, if you don't want to pay for entertainment, that comes with the package. You get a private reception, which includes 3 hours. You can either select a buffet or family style option. Includes 3 hours of standard open bar. So you get round table, white linens. You get a 2-tier cake, a cake table, dressing linen, and you get a personalized menu card. So definitely for $4,200, if you including 30 people, you could definitely have a nice wedding, I would say, at a Royalton Resort. What's missing is additional decor. Like if you want uplighting, if you want centerpieces, if you want more, you want the ceremony location more decorated with more chairs or flowers. If you want to get a DJ, photo and videography is not included. If you're doing hair and makeup, that's not included. So these would be additional costs on top of the wedding package that you would have to pay. But for $4,200, you could have a wedding with 30 people at a Royalton Resort. So the next package I'm going to talk about is the Secrets and Dreams packages. And Secrets and Dreams Resort are located in Jamaica. A lot of them are in Mexico, and a lot of them are in Dominican Republic. So to me, those are 3 locations that are great locations if you're looking to do a destination wedding, and having a wedding package that is very inclusive. So their package is for 30 people, and it starts at $399. And you could save some money if you did your wedding between August, September, October. So that's one way I was going to say, if your budget is tight, to save money, move your wedding date to like the fall. Everything becomes a little bit cheaper. The rooms are cheaper. For this particular resort, the wedding package is cheaper. The air might be cheaper. So you could save money by moving your wedding to a different date, closer, like, late August, September, October. The rates can be cheaper. You can also maybe get a lot more comps, in that. I'll talk about that later when you book your room. So for this wedding packages, You're going to include a semi-private rehearsal dinner for 10 people. So if you're coming with a wedding party, that would be an extra bonus. You wouldn't have to pay for a little private dinner for your wedding party. Um, they give you a complimentary room for one member of the couple to get dressed. So I guess you can get your spouse can go in the other room and get another room and get dressed. It comes with bouquets and boutonnieres, sound system, actually come with hairstyling and makeup application, ceremony decor. So for 30 chairs, they come with white covers, ceremony table, and aisle runner. You get a wedding cake and sparkling wine. So after you say your I do's, or your guests get sparkling wine. You get a private cocktail hour, you pick from a gold menu. You have a private dinner reception. You get a floral centerpiece for the sweetheart table, which would be the couples table. You have one natural centerpiece for the ceremonial table. You have live music, one set during the cocktail hour. So that's where I think if you're in Mexico, it might be the mariachi band that plays during your cocktail hour. This also includes 50 colored photos and a wedding album and a video of the ceremony for 30 minutes. So really, this is very inclusive. So for 30 people for 37, $3,800, you have everything you need for a wedding. What's missing here would be to me DJ, depending on where you are, if you need a dance floor, lighting, centerpieces, and that's what you would need to add to like make it your own, unless you want to add an arch for where you're going to get married. So just understanding what's in the wedding packages, what's included, what's not included will definitely help you stay on track and not overspend for your wedding. So definitely understanding what the extras cost will definitely help you when you're booking your wedding and staying on budget with your wedding. So how can I save money? I mentioned one way you can save money by changing the date of where you're getting married. Maybe a fall wedding will give you more options and a nicer budget, so your budget can, it will cost less, so your budget can stretch further. The number of guests you invite. So if you invite over 30, it's going to cost you more. For each person over 30, they're going to charge you additional charge, whether it's $80 or $100 for if you're outside the wedding package. So think about that. So the more people invite, the more it's going to cost you. Or the more people invite, the more perks you can get. Like if you go to a resort like Palace Resort, I'm doing a wedding there, Moon Palace in Jamaica. The more room nights you book, the more money you get towards the wedding. You can get $20 per room night that can go towards a wedding. So if you book whatever that if you book 20 room nights, that could be $200 towards your wedding. If you book more than that, it's a way of saving money. By the more people you bring, the more perks the resort will give you towards your wedding. So that's definitely something to think about. And I would say get a group contract. By having a group room contract, so if you're having over 20 people attend your wedding, which is around 10 rooms, so 10 to 15 rooms, I would say think about getting a group room contract, because with the group room contract, you can get a lot of perks that can offset some of your wedding costs. It could be you could get free rooms towards, a couple could get, cash back for rooms if they book over a certain amount. They could get free events. Some resort will give you a free cocktail hour, so that could be a welcome cocktail. So that could save you money. Instead of spending for a welcome cocktail, because you have a group contract, you could get that in there. Depending on how many room nights you book, when you work with a travel specialist like myself, there's certain perks you can get. If you book 75 or more room nights, you could get up to $1,000 towards the airfare. So there's different ways that you can save money but you need to know these things in order to save money. So definitely you need to do research. You need to work with a professional who understands the various resort and what they offer, and knowing what your budget is, to see how we can make that budget stretch and what you can do to make sure that you don't overspend and mess up your budget, because that can easily happen. You look at something you wanted, but it's gonna throw off your budget. So definitely knowing those things will definitely help you stay on budget. So that is all I have for you. I have one comment here. Yeah, I had a comment, somebody saying how I am. I'm doing fine. Hope you're doing fine too. But that's what I have to talk about in budget, in understanding what the components of your budget is, where you want to spend the money, what are your must-have, and ways in which you can save money by picking the right destination and the right resort can definitely save you a lot of money. So if you need help, sorting through all this, understanding what different resort offers, where you can get a better bang for your money, where your budget can stretch a little bit further, you can, contact me. We can set up, we can set up a free consultation. I have the link in my bio. So if you want to set up a free consultation, please go ahead. But if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you and to help you plan your dream destination wedding, wherever that is. Thank you.